my introduction, I was connected to MIT Media Lab. I'm Peruvian, so now I'm back to Peru. I'm now a professor there. And I will be talking a little more about my research. It was my PhD project, and I keep doing this. And so let's talk about cosmetics. If you think about cosmetics, their functionality didn't change very much. I have a red lipstick. My mom had a red lipstick. My grandma had a red lipstick. The functionality of cosmetics keeps the same. We use cosmetics for make us to look a little prettier, or highlight some part of our body, or hide some part of our body. But what could be the future of cosmetics, or what could be the next step for cosmetics? So my proposal is called beauty technology. So it's a way to use cosmetics with electronics to make your body as an interface. So imagine that you could have these eyelashes and you blink and turn the lights, or these fingernails that you could pay the metro with your fingernail, or some hair that you touch your hair or could record a conversation, or maybe send a message if you are in danger, just using your body. So I will start showing some of my prototypes. The first one is related with hair. And hair is something super fascinating. If you think about hair as something that is exposed, but it's also something kind of private. It's your hair, no one's messing it. And also it's malleable, you could do hairstyles. But also it's kind of a tool. You touch your hair when you're thinking very much about something, or when you're maybe nervous or angry about something. And also it could be also a kind of flirting device. You touch your hair for kind of show maybe your neck to your partner, and it's kind of a way that we use our hair already as unconscious behaviors. But what if we use these unconscious behaviors, but consciously, for activating different devices? So I will show you one project that is called hairwear. Hairwear are these hair extensions that I use a chemical process for metallize them, and now they are conductive. So I could convert these hair extensions in a sensor, as you have in your smartphone, your touch screen, but it could be your hair. So imagine you touch your hair and you could record a conversation or send a message asking for help if you are in a risky situation. And it works kind of like this. So are these hair stations that you touch it and you could connect by Bluetooth to some smartphone, and you can just touch your hair and use different apps, and no one will notice it. So that was kind of fun. But also our body surface, we also have fingernails. As the fingernails I have today. So I was experimenting with different things like magnets, and I really like this idea of having a new sense of finding different magnetic fields around me. And also I did some kind of nail polish, but that was conductive. So when I use long fingernails, I could interact with my iPad or my phone. I don't know if you guys know, but for girls it's kind of not very easy to have these long nails. But the ones that I will show you today is these ones that are called tech nails. So tech nails, I use RFID nails. So if you see these ones, as the ones that I have very small RFID tag in each of my fingernail. So imagine that you could pay the metro, as we already have now in the news here in Stockholm. You could pay the metro or the train, I think, with your RFID tag. But now I could have 10 of those on my fingernails. So I could do too many things, for example, kind of playing the piano with your fingernails. So each of my fingernails could be a musical note. And I could show you it here. So if I do like this, it could be a different note each of my fingernail. Wow. So I just playing, actually, not a musician. But what I like about that is that you don't need to touch the device for having some kind of interaction. So this is kind of a piano in the air, but actually I could put some water around. Let's try to do this. So in this way, we could have other kind of interfaces now with water. So that's why I create this other project that I call it Aqua DJ. So this is a DJ controller into the water. Each time the DJ puts her fingernails into the water, she adds some tracks or change different sound effects. And I present that in different places, in Las Vegas, in Mexico, with Intel in San Francisco. And for me, it's a way to take out the DJ outside of the console that is totally hiding, and to put that aquarium that is kind of a different interface that is using water, so you could expose music with this. And it's pretty fun. Other project that I want to show you is this conductive makeup. And actually, this was my first project, like in 2012, and many years now ago. So I was interested in blinking. Blinking is something pretty amazing. If you blink and your eyes keep closed like 100, 150 milliseconds each time you need to irritate your eyes. But also it has some kind of information. For example, if this talk is totally boring, you keep like closing your eyes more times, and there are too many other implications. But I was using blinking as a way that you could interact with different objects. So I went to a drugstore and buy my fake eyelashes, and then I went to a chemical lab and I metallized these eyelashes using a chemical process that looks like non normal fake eyelashes, so they keep looking black. And using also a conductive eyeliner, I could connect one eyelash that could be up, one eyelash that could be down, and could understand blinking. So in that way, I could interact with different objects just by my blinking. I could interact with a computer, with a different Internet of Things, or maybe a wearable. So I did some projects around this. Like the first one, the big one, is Blinkifier, and I did that when I was in Hong Kong. I was doing some art projects at Hong Kong Baptist University, and we were trying to use blinking as a way that you could extend your expression. In this case, it's blinking. So each time you blink, different light patterns will turn it on. And also in Peru, we were having this actress that she was blinking, and different lights and music were changing around her. And also this one is a drone. It's that also reacts to blinking. It was in Barcelona, and it was a contest that were kind of trying to amplify human capabilities. And I thought, like, well, there is not better way to do that than being a superhero. So that's me. My free time, I'm a superhero, and I have the superpower of levitating objects. So in this case, it's a drone that I make it fly with my blinking. And then I was also interested in other kind of makeups. I was in one interview with the media, and they asked me, how many makeup do you think women should have? Well, I said, I hope it will be just one, and you can just turn the color of it however you want, depending on the context you want. So while I was at the Media Lab, we created this project called ChromoSkin. That is a way that you could have this interactive eyebrow, the eyeshadows that you could make it change color using thermochromic inks and also a circuit that you could control it. I'll show you maybe a video. It will be easier to understand. There are some other projects that I wanted to show you very fastly. These one are kind of more performatic projects. I do some collaborations with artists like Victoria Modesta. Victoria Modesta is a bionic pop star. So she was amputee, she has no one leg. And we create these fingernails that she could control the lighting on her clothing and her skin. We have Screen, that is kind of a video project that we will be presented also in Bulgaria in the Wearables Film Festival. And it's a way also to how you could have expression in your body using kind of heartbeats or electronic organisms that could be living on your skin. And the last one that was over here, it was this lighting face painting that we could control the lighting through a device. So we did that for the Media Lab Halloween party, and we did face painting for kids. So they were going around, and we were controlling that with the music. And then when they went to the haunted house, we could control the lighting. And sometimes everything was dark, and then turn it on, and there was a monster, and they were scared. It was fun. Maybe I don't know for them, but it was fun to make. It was 300 of these kids wearing these wolves. Another project that I will show you is called Kinesi. So Kinesi is a way to understand our skin as an interface. And we did that as a way to understand, for example, when you smile, or when you wink, or when you raise your eyebrow, you could have different interactions. So I was using special effects makeup, like this latex that they use in Hollywood for making a big nose or for making a scar. And I do that using some sensors that could be on your skin. So you could control these different muscle movements. And it was very interesting too, because we have around 45 muscles in our face, and they move individually or also in conjunction with other muscles. So we had to identify where will be the best places to put these sensors. And what we did was to put these sensors and also some lighting on hair and also face. And depending on the movement of the model, you could interact with different lighting patterns. And so this was also an art project. a little of my background is I'm from computer science, but then I also do some chemistry and electronics and design and arts because I also went during my PhD to an art program, and it was very interesting for someone that is kind of more technological, like was in the engineer or computer science area where you are always thinking this is the problem, this is the solution, and then I went there and it's, well, where is the problem or where is the solution? And it was more showing your passion, and in that way sometimes now I use art as a way to have a kind of a platform to show futuristic technologies. And the video that I will show you now is one video that we were showing in different places, like in Barbican of London, Stockholm. It was in Stockholm. It was in Telemitic. I don't remember the name of the museum. It's part of the Digital Futures exhibition. And yeah, so we did that for showing how your skin could be an interface. So now I will show you. But that video actually was inspired in something else. Well, after finishing this superhero project that I showed you before, I was going to different fairs and different conferences showing the project. And once I was in Brazil and I met Felipe. Felipe was twice world championship in jiu-jitsu, 6-time Brazilian championship. And after training, unfortunately, he damaged his body, and now he has a disability. He cannot move his body. And he came to me and said something that was very nice because I wasn't thinking about this technology in this way. But he told me that I would like to be a superhero. There are very simple things for you guys, like turning on the TV or changing the channel, that for me, sometimes it's like 30 minutes, but 30 minutes of my time that I'm not doing anything. But if I could be a superhero and have the superpower of changing the channels, I could have this independence. So that's why we create Winky Mode. And Winky Mode is a way to have this same technology, Kinesis technology, that's this second skin with sensors for activating devices. So in this way, Felipe with his both eyes could turn on the TV, and with the left and the right could change the channels. And we kind of hack the TV, he wearing like this second skin and connected to a necklace that has infrared, so he could control the TV. And I'd like to show this picture because it was the first time after 13 years that Felipe could turn on the TV by his own. So what's beauty technology? As I told you, this was my research project, and it's continued being my research project. And I started doing this because I believe that we could have technology on our body surface. I believe that you could use these 2 meter squares of skin, but now with technology. And technology that makes you look like you are. So if maybe you didn't notice that I have these RFID chips until I told you. So I try to make technology invisible instead of having all these wearables that you have to wear all the time with you, but it's like today I'm wearing this dress and this watch, but tomorrow could be another one. But your skin, your fingernails, or your hair could remain the same. Oh, should remain the same. So in that way, it's how we could have your body surface as a remote control to other devices, and you could control things through your body. So it's in this way, if you think about, it's just blinking, but blinking that you do like some kind of gestures, and it could have different meanings from different cultures, and also you have your fingernails that you could control things, but it's kind of your part of your fine motor thing, like you do with your fingers, or also your hair. You touch your hair in different situations, in unconscious situations. But now we could give all of these actions another meaning that could be interact with other devices. So this is something that I told you I was working on like for some years, and it's a way to see technology on our body surface. So we have all these wearables that are normally in clothing or accessories, but now I'm using the skin, and the skin could be direct to skin or the appendages that are your fingernails or your hair. And I keep working in these devices, and I wrote this book. It's called Beauty Technology, Design and Seamless Interfaces for Wearable Computing. And it's in the HCI Springer series. And it's a way to show the technology that anyone could make it. So like as a researcher, what I do is like I open it to the world and share knowledge. And for me, it's I'm super glad to see now some other projects and some other startups that have been created around these technologies. Like there is one technology that was created for London, but also I saw the TwinkleName, the same name of my project. It's in Tokyo, and also I saw some of them also in China. So now you could buy these RFID tags and put that on your fingernails. And yeah, and that for me, that's kind of like one of the things I wanted with this technology is not to have this in just as an application on a specific context, but open it, like show like a platform that could be applied to different devices. And my next steps, I am doing a little more controversial things, I think. If it's not controversial, doing a little more. No. Yes, so now I'm thinking in going inside of the body, like with tattoos. And I cannot show you now because I will publishing my paper next month. So, but I could tell you. So I'm doing these tattoos. So instead of using like with a tattoo gun, so I have now a tattoo gun, but instead of using this tattoo ink, I'm using biosensors, and these biosensors that change colors. So if I put that tattoos inside of your skin, and imagine that you have glucose issues, and I have these inks that are or biosensors for glucose, you could see your tattoo changing color depending of your glucose levels. So that's my new thing, and doing that with different other biosensors. So for me, is how we could have this symbiosis between the human body and devices. And yeah, so this is beauty technology. I will take any questions you have it. Thank you very much. Any questions? No? Yes.
Hi. How available it is for the general public?
Actually, I think it's pretty easy actually to make it. Depends of the technology. Like I show you different of these technologies. Some of them you need a lab for creating that. For example, for the hair wear, It took me a long time for finding the chemistry and the timing and everything for creating these hair extensions that are conductive. But for example, for the fingernails, you could buy these chips anywhere. And actually what I do and what I did for these ones, I went to a salon and I asked for the girl in the salon to make my fingernails these acrylic gel fingernails, but I asked her for putting this chip, and it was kind of weird for them all the time I do that and say to them like I'm preparing for the future. But but it's actually it's like you could buy these chips and you can just go to a salon or do it by yourself and put the RFID chips on your fingernails. For the eyelashes or for the skin, I had to do a little more of electronics and a little more about chemistry and other technology development that I had to do. But depends on the technology. I think that if you want to try, you could try doing your fingernails, and I think it's very simple to do, and you could try with the RFIDs, you could try with magnets, and it's kind of a nice experience to have like 20 or 30 days these devices on your body. So if you could give it a try. Yeah.
So can one buy these fingernails somewhere, or you have to make them yourself? I usually don't do a startup. Some people try to put me in that side of the dark side of the world to do a startup. I prefer not. I like to be a researcher. So what I do is I open the knowledge for anyone to do that. So that's why we have some startups that are already having that fingernails, and you could buy in China. Even you can order by online. You could order your fingernails with chips if you want. Yeah. Oh, you can. Also.
You can. Yeah. Yeah, it's like in my book. If I have all the circuits, I share all the circuits and all the chemistry involved. So yeah, and you can ask me. I will be happy to share too.
Who wants to start a fingernail business with me here in Stockholm?
Yeah, who wanted?
Royalties to you. Wait, sorry. Yeah.
In all of your research, anybody who actually turns skin into an interface, was there any downside ever? Was there any like negative feedback?
Did you hear the question? Sorry.
I was just wondering if in all the people who use skin as an interface or any of your alternative interfaces, did you ever see any negative response in any of your research? Like unexpected, like they didn't know that it would act that way, and you're like, oh, we didn't know that people would become a device.
Not in that way, but like when you create skin interfaces, you have to take care to many factors. Actually, we have a paper that is wearability factors for skin interfaces that we make a detail of all of those, because you have to take care about conductivity, but also isolation for not damaging the skin. You have to take care about the battery, but also about the skin. Like we are totally different. And for example, for the case of Felipe that I was telling you, I made different tests, and they made tests on me and in other researchers, and then we make some case studies, and then we went to Felipe to put that device, but his skin was super oily, and it was very hard to put that device in that way. So we had to change the material for him. So yeah, for skin interfaces, you have to take care not just about the technical part, but also about the body and the skin and all the characteristics that we have for the skin. I have many different experience with that. Like for the video that I'll show you, the model, we made a casting because we wanted to raise one eyebrow for the video, and and it was hard to find a model that could rise just one eyebrow. Some of them rise both. And then I was like, okay, let's do it that way. But yeah, because we have our muscles, we move them in different ways. So yeah, we have one more question? Yeah.
I think I maybe phrased that wrong. Were there any social implications? So I was really struck by the lady who was on a date and recording the conversation. And I mean, I understand for safety, there might be reasons that the hair is the interface. But
Yeah.
I would think that if you're dating someone who's enhanced in such a way that they can interface with computing during intimacy, that there
Yeah.
might be some social implications to that. And I just wasn't sure if this was just a video or if people actually lived that way. Does that make more sense?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, actually, there are many also social implications with all this. And also not just around that, but also privacy, like if I am recording when you're talking to me, what that means. And you will never notice because it's not the Google Glass that you know that someone could be recording you. It's your hair and it looks like my hair. I didn't use that like as a everyday as a product. Like my fingernails, I did that. I used that every day, but I didn't had any social implications. Not yet. I just have like compliments, like nice fingernails. So thank you. I have a chip inside. Yeah.
I'm familiar with that compliment. Katja, thank you. We have to round off. This was mind-blowing. Thank you so
you very
much for
much.
coming here.
Thank
High five
you.
to you.